स्वादयन्निह सर्वेषाम् त्रय्यन्तार्थम् सुदुर्ग्रहम् स्तोत्रयामास योगीन्द्रः तम् वन्दे यामुनाह्वयम् नमो नमो यामुनाय यामुनाय नमो नमः नमो नमो यामुनाय यामुनाय नमो नमः यत्पदाम्भोरुहध्यान विध्वस्ताशेषकल्मषः वस्तुतामुपयातोऽहम् यामुनेयम् नमामि तम् स्वधर्मज्ञानवैराग्य साध्यभक्त्येकगोचरः नारायणः परम् ब्रह्म गीताशास्त्रे समीरितः श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्यः कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्ताम् सदा हृदि
निरस्त निखिलाज्ञान् दृष्ट्वात्मानं परानुदम् प्रतिलभ्य परां भक्तिं तयैवाप्नोति तत्पदम्.
One whose ignorance has been completely removed after seeing the self directly as subservient to the Supreme Being gets eminent devotion through His grace and attains His feet.
Tatpadam. Apnoti Tatpadam. That was the last word in the Gitartha Sangraha sloka, the 26th. So, Tatpadam, his feet. So, Tat Charanam. Tasya Charanam, Tat Charanam. Tatpadam, Tasya Padam. Of course, all of us know that if you point out the word of foot, it also means only a pair of feet. This is a way of writing style in Sanskrit. So singular can mean dual. Vedanta Deshika has shown it also in many examples under Paduka Sahasram, where he refers to both sandals by one singular word. Paduka. Of course, it's very easy to use the word feminine gender word because Paduke is Dvivachanam, two sandals. Then Paduka will be addressed as Paduke also. Rama Rame Ramaha, He Rame. Then so He Paduke. So one sandal is addressed. Again, Dvivachanam also same. Paduke, Paduke, Rame, Rame, Rama, Rame, Ramaha, He Rame, He Rame, He Ramaha. Same way. There's a convenience. Whereas in Pullinga and Napunsakalinga, in the masculine gender and the feminine, neutral gender, there is a difficulty. So here, so Tat Padam, Tat Charana. Now, how do you call a foot Padam? So we call the foot Padam because Padyate iti Vyutpatya. Vyutpatti is parsing a word with the help of the root of the verb or root of the noun. So we go to the Niruktam, we go to what you call etymology, the limb of the scripture, one of the 6 limbs of the scriptures, namely Niruktam. So when you go to that etymology, we understand Padam is explained as Padyate iti Padam. Now again, why it is say Padam Padyate? What is the use of the feet? We are not referring to our feet. If we are also great people, then we can also refer to our feet. Because many people prostrate, the devotees prostrate at the feet. They reach the feet. Generally, we don't reach the head, hand, and so on. Here, of course, the shaking hands in the spirit of friendship has been today given up. Handshake is now given up. That is what we recommend. So we salute with hands. We close our two palms in salutation, like this. It's called Anjali. This is not better than falling at the feet. So falling at the feet is required. That is what we understand is he is Jayan and we are Ajjayan. He is elder and we are younger. He is the master, we are the servant. He is a great person and we are small person. And then so on. So in that, so Padyate iti. Yutpattihi is called explanation by Sanskrit. The basic root. And then Padam. So Padam. So what is the word again? Padam. Apnoti tat padam. The second meaning will be not only foot, but also the position. Padam. Padavi we say in Tamil also. Padavi, position. Padavi, here Padam, the position is Mukti Padam, Sri Vaikuntham. The place is called Padam, is here place. Mukta Prapyataya Siddham. So Padam is, the next word is Thanam. Padam is Thanam. Look at the next word. Padam is Thanam. Mukta Prapyataya Siddham. Parama Purushasya Aprakritam Sthanam. So we have the word Padam used in Tamil in the sense of well cooked. Well cooked. Well cooked in the sense well done. So Padam is the what we call Brahma Padam. What do we call as Aprakrita Padam. Aprakrita Sthanam. What we again name it as Vaikuntham Padam. Otherwise called Paramapadam. So many words are there to say. So what is the use of this Padam? Mukta Prapyataya. A released soul will reach this. Mukta, the released soul, Prapyataya, because it is reachable by a released soul. So Siddham, it is already available there. It is ready. So that's why we call Lord Sriman Narayana as Siddhopaya. Siddhopaya. Now we are using the word means as Bhakti Yoga. So Parama Bhakti is now we are calling it as Upaya, the means to go, and the means also is called Sadhyopaya. Sadhyopaya, a remedy or rather a road to lead to the achievable end. Sadhyopaya. It makes it possible for us. This what you call Parama Bhakti makes it possible for us to reach the Padam, Parama Padam. Because he is called Parama Purusha, it is also called Parama Padam. Because he is the highest primordial being. The Padam is also the highest place. There is no other higher place than this. This is the highest place. So Parama Purushasya Aprakritam. Aprakritam means it can mean initially and literally as unnatural. Prakriti is nature and Aprakritam is unnatural. It is not unnatural, but it is supernatural. So Aprakritam is supernatural. We don't understand deeply this word because we always say the whole place called Vaikuntham has been made up of what we call Sattva quality. Sattva quality is goodness, the quality of goodness, and we call it as supernatural quality. What is that supernatural? We can't understand unless the released soul experiences. Therefore, Prakritam, Aprakritam. Prakritam, we are all Prakritam. In this world of creation, we are called Prakritam. In fact, you can also say raw material. We are all raw materials. We are not complete in our mission. When the individual souls become the released souls, then we have the process is complete. So we become supernatural beings. So Aprakritam Sthanam. Then again, Padam also means the third meaning. Rupam, Swarupam. Swarupam. Since Lord Sriman Narayana is all pervading, his nature is all pervasive. Therefore, if you want to look at him, it's very easy. Very easy in the beginning. Very easy to look at him. That's what we are now trying to attempt, trying to do. Namely, Sakshatkar. Sakshatkar. Either you can imagine in your mind or straight away see the entire world as the form. That's all. Very easy. Look at the entire world. You cannot see the entire world within 1 second, but you observe the entire world. The entire world is his body. And of course, we are not able to understand the soul, the supreme soul within this. But see God everywhere. That's all. That is very simple. See God everywhere. Lord is called Sarva Bhuta Dayalu. You have some other word for this. Or you can say Sarva Bhutatma. He is the inner soul of all things, whether they are human beings or animals or inanimate objects, insentient things and so on. So Swarupam will be, otherwise called, you can also say Vishwarupam. Again the Swarupam will be, the word Padam will denote all the unlimited number of the auspicious qualities of the Lord. And also, it also denotes, since he is the place is the highest place, and the owner of the place is Lord Sriman Narayana. That you have you note also the differences between the important differences between the individual soul and the supreme soul. That means the Swarupam, the original form, the natural form, is different from the creation. Though he is within the creation. So, fortunately, the rain, we have rains now at present, and therefore we don't see any impediment to our session. We have an inverter here, but still, just to have a warning. So here, we'll take up the next sentence. So Parama Purushasya Aprakritam Sthanam Swarupam Va. Now, how do you understand these three meanings? Padam is foot. So foot is to be reached. Foot is to be resorted to. Prapatti must be done at the feet only, not at any other limb. Therefore, Padam. Then second meaning is it is reachable by a released soul, ready at hand, and it is called Sthanam. So it is a place. So we call Bhagavan Sriman Narayana as Vaikuntha. Sahasranama says, Vishnu Sahasranama says, Vaikuntha Purusha Pranaha. Vaikuntha. We always denote, when I say Hawaii, it should refer to Keshavdas Swami. That should be the nature. When you say Srirangam, it must refer to me only. No. Only by just example and just California means Shanta Madam. London means Govindacharya. Sthanam.
But
So,
Swami,
okay.
this is a common thing, that the name of the village or the name of the town that the person is from is turned into
epithet.
an initial to go before his name.
Right.
So I am Hawaii Keshavadas.
Okay.
Actually, it is Keshavadas Hawaii, maybe.
Somebody called me Rangaswamy last. Kidambi Sundar Swami called me. Hey, oh Rangaswamy. I said I am Rangaswamy Tirunarayanan, and he said I quoted your father's name, right? Right. So Tatetat Shloka Dvayena Giyate. I hope you are also hearing the rain noise. Tatu etat meaning these three meanings. There's three meanings. Foot, the place, and the nature of the Lord. So all these three are tatu this is that. Shloka dvayena with the two slokas. Giyate, it is sung. Very important is sung because it's a praise. Only when you sing the praise of the Lord, then He will favor us. Now, today's discussion was centering around this point, but I have to ask the doubt to the philosopher and guide. Whereas, why, when then we call Paramatma as a, what do you call, Karuna Sagaraha, ocean of mercy. And he has nirhetuka daya. He has pity, sympathy over the creation without any reason whatsoever. So that's what we call him. But today the professor said Lord is expecting us to fall at his feet, seek shelter, seek what you call, ask for moksham, emancipation, and so on. I must ask him why, when he has nirhetuka kripa, why should he expect? Now, the point is, raksha apeksham apekshate. He expects us to ask for protection. And when will he protect us? The next question, for the question he answered that when we have a good deed fructifying, that's what he said. When we have a good deed fructifying, he will favor us with what we want. And how long should we wait for our good deed to fructify, to give us the result? The sinful deeds give us immediately the result. In Kali Yuga, we say, in Tamil we have a proverb. The previous proverb is now changed. Arasan andru kolvan, Deivam nindru kollum. The king will punish immediately, the God will punish later. That's what it says, Tamil. Arasan andre kolvan, Deivam nindru kollum. It will delay. The God will delay with the punishment. But today in Kali Yuga, Arasanum andru kolvan, Deivamum andre kollum. The God himself will give the punishment at once. That will be the. So here the three meanings are sung here. So Brahma Bhutaha, Prasannatma, na sochati na kankshati, samas sarveshu bhuteshu, mad bhaktim labhate param. That's what we just now, earlier we said. Bhaktya mam abhijanati, yavanyashyatmi tattvataha, tato mam tattvataha jnatva, vishate tat anantaram. So this is 54, 55. So 54 already we have seen that. Brahma Bhutaha, the individual soul. Yeah. Let us say this. See the first verse. Okay. So the Brahma Bhutaha, he who has realized the state of the Brahman. That already we have seen that. Therefore, Brahma Bhuta, the individual soul who has become the supreme soul, Brahma Bhuta. That means he has understood what he must know. Prasannatma, happy person. Na shojati, does not grieve, does not become sad. Na kankshati, does not expect anything. He has no desire. Samaha sarveshu bhuteshu. He has equanimity towards all living beings. Mad bhaktim labhate para. We are referring to that Mad bhaktim as Parama bhakti. Param bhakti. Now, 55. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yasya asmi tattvataha. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan is as long as much as. Yavan is as much as long as, or as soon as you can say. So bhaktya mam abhijanati, when the individual soul understands abhijanati, janati knows, abhijanati understands. Mam abhijanati, abhijanati is understand deeply, understand well. So mam me, bhaktya through devotion. Then that is first qualification. Second qualification, yascha yahacha asmi tattvataha. One who, yahu, that is one who has tattvataha, really, asmi, has become me. He is me. He is me. The individual soul has become the supreme soul. Almost equal. 99.99%. But for that 0.01% is missing. So yasya asmi tattvataha. Tataha, then, therefore, mam tattvataha jnatva, he knows completely what I am. Tattvataha. Tattvataha means truly, truthfully. Jnatva, knowing, mam, me. What does he do? Vishate. Vishate is enters. The word pra you can add. Pravishate. Vishate is entering. But this is a special word. Generally, vishati will be used. Vish is ubhayapadi dhatu. Vishate is here used as atmanepadi dhatu. So vishati generally will be used as parasmepadi dhatu also. But ubhayapadi dhatu, wish to enter. Wish to enter. Vishate is entering. Now, who is entering whom? The individual soul is entering into the Supreme Soul. Already Supreme Soul has entered into the individual soul. Tat Anantara. Vishate Tat. So Tat is again the Supreme Soul. Or you can say here, sorry, Tat is individual soul. Anantaram is later. Why later? There's some gap. The gap is filled up by the blessing of the God. Vishate, again, the word Vishate is used in Atmanepadi because there are 2 points in this Vishate. Number one, Lord creates. Why does He create? The basic question. The answer to the basic question, why does He create? He creates for His own sport. S-P-O-R-T. Or playing a game. It's a game of creation. He wants to enjoy the game of creation. So that is number one. Then how does He allow the individual soul to enter into Him? It is also at His will. It is for His own selfish aim. So tadanantaram. So let us go to the English translation. Malini madam can read the English translation.
By this devotion, he understands me, who I am and how great. Knowing me truly, he through it devotion enters into me thereafter.
Very easy to read the words, but very difficult to experience.
My question is, when it says enter into me,
Yeah.
when it says enter into me, we know that the word Vaikuntha means the Lord, but the word Vaikuntha also means the place, the sthanam. So when he says in the Gita, enter into me, it means enter into the sthanam, into Paramapada, but it can also mean enter into the body of the Lord also. So previous, so that that entering into the body of the Lord, just like when Shishupal criticized Krishna for 100 times, Krishna cut his head, and the Atman of Shishupal was seen to enter into the body of God. So, entering into the body, is it Kaivalya? Is it Sayujya? What kind of moksha is that?
We never equate it with Sayujya because it's only Sarupya and Samipya.
So, Sarupya means having the same form, and Samipya means being very close. So if you enter into the body of God, that means very close. It's even more close. But Sayujya, some people are saying Sayujya, and they're equating Sayujya and Kaivalya. But is Sayujya is separate from Kaivalya, or is it Kaivalya?
No, unless we go through the Srimad Ragasetar or any other book on Kaivalya, I think the Deshika Sampradaya does not attach much importance to Kaivalya. But we will try to understand it deeply a little later.
Yeah, Tenacharya Sampradaya also doesn't attach much importance to Kaivalya. But anyway, here it says that they enter into him. So my wife was saying her idea was that if you are entering into the body of God, she feels it's this Sayujya. And if you're in the effulgence of God, in the Brahma Jyoti, the effulgence of God, then she feels this is Kaivalya.
No, you cannot call entering into the body of the Supreme Soul as Sayujya because when you enter into the mind of God. One example is Vishnu Chitta, Periyalvar. The word Vishnu Chitta means Vishnu thinks of him. Number one. Number two, the second meaning is he has Vishnu in his mind.
Right.
But whereas you don't take it, the physical, the flesh part, the fleshy part heart, and the mind combined with brain is both are occupied by the Supreme Soul. We are not the physical part of the Supreme Soul. As an individual soul, as a released soul, we are not part of the enter into the body, but it doesn't mean enter into the body. Enter into the body and get a place in his heart. We are not becoming a physical part. The physical part will be different from, because it is though both of us are same in what you call aprakrita shariram, supernatural form. This is my understanding. We can't become the Lord because we cannot create, nor we can take the life partner. And therefore, there is one more quality which we cannot imitate or which cannot imbibe is greatness. Greatness. We can't become so great as he. So you are a small speck in the entire world. Again, a very simple observation will be when we are in this world, we observe his body. We observe his body. How? In the form of the world. In the form of the world. So why I say in the form of the world? There's a lot of wonders of creation. So we just get surprised at the wonder of creation. That means we understand the spirit in the creation. That is the spirit behind the what we call the power acting on the world. Power acting on the world. We are helpless there. We understand our helplessness also. We are not able to conquer anything, do anything of our own. This is again adhina kartrutvam. That's what we already discussed. This is what we say three tyaga we sacrifice. One is mamata tyagam. I sacrifice my sense of possession. That is one. Don't call anything that as yours. My body is not mine. My soul is not mine. My action is not mine. The second point is kartrutva tyaga. Kartrutva tyaga is what is already said as our actions are under control, under his control. Fortunately, when we are doing something good, he has blessed us for doing something good. He has directed us. He has turned our mind to certain good things. Therefore, we are doing good. That is what we understand. The third tyaga is phala tyaga. First tyaga is mamata tyaga, sacrificing one's selfishness. That is egoism. Aham. That's what we say. The professor also said, Madhavacharya said, what is your, who are you? And I ask you, who are you? You don't say, I am Keshavadas. You say, I am a slave to the Lord. Your name, the body that you have with specs, the entire figure, 5 feet or 6 feet figure, doesn't mean that it is Keshavadas. So no, the body is not named Keshavadas. The soul is not named Keshavadas. The individual soul is not Keshavadas. But I split this word now. That is Keshavadas. That's all. You are not saying the name. I am the slave of Lord Keshava. I am not Tirunarayana. I am a dasa to the Lord. I am a slave to him. This is how we must answer the question. Who are you? I am Tirunarayana. No, I can't. I don't say I am Tirunarayana. I am a slave to the Lord.
Right. So we say Adiyen or we say Dasosmi.
That's what Dasaha Adiyen. That's what I wanted you to say, because this is what the next one is. So Mamata Tyaga is there. Then second Kartrutva Tyaga. You give up all your sense of belonging that we are doing anything. Then third one is Phala Tyaga. What is it now? The question is, if you are doing prapatti, according to Govindacharya Swami, we are always doing prapatti. And the prapatti, what is the phalam for prapatti? What is the prayojanam? What is the use of this prapatti? The preeti of the Lord, the affection of the Lord. So there we don't sacrifice that aim. The aim of getting preeti of the Lord. That is, the Lord should be affectionate more affectionate to us. He should show more pity on us. That is a little selfish also. But at the same time, we are not asking for moksha. Please remember that. Phalatyaga is Phalatyaga for prapatti. When we totally surrender, we are not expecting a place in Vaikuntha. We are not to be offered Vaikuntha, offered a residence, life in Vaikuntha. No. The only thing is Preeti of the Lord. So all these three Tyagas are mentioned by Namaha in Ashtakshara. Namaha Narayana. So with this,
getting back to
entering into the body.
getting back
entering into the body.
Getting back to the entering into the body, right?
Yeah.
You were saying that Vishati, well, Vishati, of course, is Atmanepada, right? So it's you say the verb is Ubhaipada, it can be Parasmaipada or Atmanepada endings. My understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, when we use Atmanepada endings in an Ubhaipada verb, it is a passive construction, correct?
Oh, that spelling will be different.
I see.
That will be Vishyate.
Oh, I see. It's
V-I-S-H-Y-A-T.
But it is Latlakara?
Latlakar, yes.
Okay. But you're saying it is Atmanepadi. This is
an active voice word.
Okay, it's active voice. But the ending is
Now I told you the meaning. Why does the individual soul enter into the body? What is the purpose? What is the aim for the individual soul? No, nothing. Nothing. So Vishate is for the selfish motive of the Lord. The more the Lord wills that you enter. That's all. You don't have anything to ask for, expect, do anything.
Yeah, we were discussing this in another book I think either in Mamukshapadi or Srivachana Bhushana. The question comes, who benefits from the moksha, or the property of the Jivatman? Is it the Jivatman who benefits, or is God who benefits? And the Acharya says that God is the one who benefits. So just like somebody gives the example, if I have a cell phone, I have a cell phone. If I lose the cell phone, then I feel bad. But when I regain the cell phone, I feel good. But the cell phone doesn't feel anything. So we are the slave. We are like the cell phone. We are the possession of God. He loses us, and then he gains us again. So he feels happiness, but it is really his gain and not ours. So again, I want to understand entering into the body of God, right? Are we not already in the body of God? If we believe in Sharira Shariri Bhava, that means that the universe and the jivas are actually the body of God in one sense. So are we not already in the body of God?
That's what I was telling. So because we are now as a creation, we are in the world of creation, and we are the part of the creation, and the Supreme Soul pervades the inner soul, pervades the individual soul in the body as well as mind. So we have him as the inner soul. The inner soul directs the individual soul. The inner soul, Supreme Soul, directs the individual soul to act, to do whatever we think also. You are thinking. Your thought process is induced by only the Supreme Soul. With all this, as we also observe the entire world as the body of the world of creation, as the body of the Supreme Soul, we are not able to realize. We openly say the Supreme Soul is in my heart. But how many of us experience it? It is not by words we can experience. I cannot tell you how I experience presence of Lord. The only thing is, when you are comfortable, when you are very happy, you praise the Lord and you say, I received the blessings of the Lord. When you suffer, what will happen? The Lord will be blamed. The Lord, the entire square blame falls on him. Though we know certainly that our actions, the previous actions only made us suffer. But still, our intention is to always pick hold with.
Yeah, when people when there's something, when something horrible happens, people go, "Oh God."
Yeah.
They exclaim, "Oh God." Why should they think, "Oh God"? The bad thing has happened to you because of your actions. Why you should say, "Oh God"? If you say, "Oh God, save me," that's one thing. But if you simply exclaim, "Oh God, look what has happened, some bad thing," it is not because of God that the bad thing has happened.
Today the discussion was on how God is merciful. God is always merciful. God always helps. Then how do you account for the suffering that we undergo? The God, I mean, the Shastra says, when the individual soul thinks that it suffers because of the previous bad action, then where is the need for prapatti? So because of the good deeds I am happy, because of the bad deeds I am unhappy, then why should we have prapatti? Why should we surrender to the Lord? Again, why should we believe that He is always merciful? So these two questions arise in our mind. So when these two questions are in our mind, the problem is we must never doubt the efficacy or the kindness of Lord's action. We expect the Lord to solve our problem. We expect the Lord to solve our problem, and that again will be a low aim, a secondary aim, or rather unnecessary aim, and we must only aim at the affection of the Lord. When you aim at the affection of the Lord, I mean, today the Shastra discussion said He will solve all our problems by removing the effects of our bad karma. That is what we must say. That is what we call Mahavishwasaha, the 100% faith, and our reposing the confidence in the Lord that He will protect us. And that is what we call Goptrutva Varanam, he said. Now, I was thinking that Goptrutva Varanam is what we call choice of a protector. Choice of a protector. That is among the very large plethora of the Hindu gods. Should we choose Sriman Narayana or somebody else? That is the question. I thought that will be. No, it is not that way. Goptrutva Varanam is we are now expecting. Varanam is what we call seeking. Yes, we are seeking that He will protect us. Gopta, He will be a protector. So His quality of protection should be extended to us. That's what we say. If it is extended to only Kesavadas, then I want that to be extended to me also. When he is happy, I must also be happy. Again the selfishness comes in. A comparative selfishness comes in.
So there's no doubt we're expecting the mercy of the Lord. Go Tripta Varnam. We're expecting the mercy of the Lord only. We're not expecting the mercy of other devatas.
Right.
So there's no doubt of that every Prabhana is thinking only of. This is also discussed in Sri Vachana Bhushanam, that the only one qualification for property is that you direct it only to Sriman Narayana, only to God with Mahalakshmi. and it cannot be to any other person or any other thing. And that is the only qualification, the only lakshana or adhikari for property or moksha. So then we expect that, but we should also expect that for everyone else. We should expect him to give the moksha for us, but also for others. So we shouldn't be selfish in that way.
Right.
So that's very nice. So then, but we are entering into the body of God. This sloka in the Gita, and as you say, in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is explaining all the different things in this material world, the exceptional things that he says. I am of fishes, I am the shark, of sources of light, I am the sun and the moon. Whatever he says in the 10th chapter, before showing the Virata Rupa, Vishvarupa in the 11th chapter. So he goes through and he explains that I am all these things. So we understand that this world is the body of God. We've already entered into it, into the body of God. But we're talking about another place, the Paramapada. We want to enter the Paramapada. But even that has to be given up, the idea of the fruit of entering Paramapada. So whether we are here in this Lila Vibhuti or in that Nitya Vibhuti doesn't matter, actually.
Doesn't make any difference.
Right, as long as we have the Kainkarya, as long as we can try to get the Preeti of the Lord. So if he is happy for us to be here, then we are happy. And if he is happy for us to go there, then we are happy. Because we are his servants, and so he can be happy with us being in any place, it doesn't matter. So the other thing that I noticed, the last thing that I was going to say in this tadadantaram, anantaram, meaning afterwards, does it refer to videha mukti? Because the videha moksha, because we don't get the moksha right now. We don't enter into Vaikuntha now, but we enter only afterwards. And afterwards, can it mean that we have to live the life and then afterwards we can enter?
That's what Vedanta Deshika said in Nyasa Dashakam. Etat dehavasane mam tatpadam prapesvayam. We have to live the life span for which we have been destined to. That means undergoing the happiness or enjoying the happiness and undergoing the suffering. The life should go on. As decreed.
Is he saying that we have to live the life so that we can burn off the punya and papa, we can burn off the karmas, that they have to be used up?
Right.
They have to be used up.
Right.
So
both punya and papa should come to naught.
Right. So we shouldn't create more punya or more papa, but the one that is going on, the agami, right? That has to be burned off. But then I was also reading in Rahasyatraya Saram that Vedanta Deshika says that at the end of life, if somebody has some punya or papa which is left over, that punya and papa is not destroyed, but that punya and papa is distributed to his friends and his enemies. Can you explain that?
I have to look at that point deeply.
Because I find it very difficult to believe that at the end of my life, whatever papas and punyas are left over will go to my friends and enemies. Because also,
we may like to transfer the punya to friends and transfer the papa to the enemies. And as we said already in the Bhagavad Gita, we must treat everybody equally.
Yes. So if we treat people equally, personally, I don't wish my papa on my enemies.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to understand exactly this. My understanding was that through jnana, through gaining of knowledge, papa is actually destroyed, because there's a statement in Shastra definition of the word diksha. Divya jnanam yato dadyat kuryat papasya sankshayam tasmat diksheti sa prokta Deishikais Tatvako Videhi. That a person, intelligent person, see Diyate and Kshiyate in Diksha. The word is made up of something is given, the Divya Jnanam is given, and the Papa is destroyed. Papa is Sanksham. So my understanding was that this, Astakshara mantra, Dvaya mantra, and the Lord's Daya, the Lord's Anugraha, His mercy, He's going to destroy the Papa. But my question is, can the karmas, can the punyas and papas be destroyed, or do they have to be somehow, are they eternal and they have to be experienced by somebody?
No, the wisdom burns them.
The wisdom burns them, yeah. Even in the Gita, I believe they say that by the sword of knowledge, that the knot of ignorance is destroyed. So the Papa is destroyed by knowledge. So
Right.
what is the purpose of Prayaschitta if simply by doing Jnana Yoga or by learning the truth that we can get rid of Papa? Why do people do Prayaschitta? What's the point of that?
Why do the people?
Do Prayaschittam. There are so many Prayaschittams that we do, even Keshavadi Homam or Jayadi Homam, or we do some Prayaschitta because we did some Papa, we did some sin. Instead of that, maybe we should just read Bhagavad Gita and understand the truth, and sin will be destroyed. So why do Shastras say to do the Prayaschitta karmas?
But because we have some ignorance also left over, that is, we are not completely wise. Therefore, we do this prayaschitta properly.
So in the Varnashrama system, the sannyasis, they're supposed to be the highest in the society. They're the teachers. They're supposed to be the most advanced spiritually. So I think even the Advaitins, the sannyasis will be considered as Jivan Muktas. So the idea is that they have so much knowledge that they don't have to do the Prayaschitta, they don't have to do any works anymore. So this is Shankara's idea that once you gain knowledge, you can give up works, you can give up action. But it is not accepted by Sri Vaishnavas that we can give up action. But we want to give up the fruit of action, and we want to give up the karma pala, and we also want to give up the katritva, the thinking that we are the doer of action.
Yeah.
Right. As you said, those three things: that we are the independent, that we are the doer, and that we are that we get the fruit of the action. Very good. Thank you. Is there anybody else has any other questions or comments? Because I think that's basically.
Swami, I just wanted to ask a question. It might be quite trivial or something that I guess every Sri Vaishnava should understand. In Ramanuja's Sharanagati Gadyam, where it's mentioned, and is mentioned in many places, Parabhakti, Paragyan, and Parama Bhakti. Can you explain in a very simple way for the average person to understand the difference between them, and how do they also relate in terms of Sharanagati or Prapatti, which is my favorite word?
You have been absent on the day of discussion of these three.
Yes, Swami, sorry. It's been very hectic. With work and stuff and all the things I have to do, it's become very hectic. So forgive me.
You must listen to the video uploaded by Keshav Swami.
Yeah, I have a lot of listening to do. I can't catch
just
up.
give you the glimpse of these three. Parabhakti, Parama Bhakti. And I was telling about the lowest bhakti will be bhakti. Bhakti, parabhakti and parama bhakti. Bhakti is ordinary devotion to anyone. I am devoted to you, Govindacharya. That's a mutual devotion also, can be mutual devotion. It is between the individual soul. Bhakti. Because you help me, Kesavadas helps me to study the book, so I am devoted to him. Bhakti is again different types of love. The love towards God is called bhakti. It can be, I mean, love can pervade everywhere. That is between friends, between husband and wife. In so many ways, children towards children. So these are all. So love, the godly love is bhakti. So that is the ordinary one. The second one is your bhakti, devotion, is concentrated on only one person, one God. And that is called parabhakti. The third type will be parama bhakti. You have, in the previous bhakti, you don't have any other God. Any other God, devotion to any other God. That is parabhakti. Parama bhakti is the highest devotion to the God, to the single God, which you have to practice 24/7. I think we gave a better definition last time. Parama bhakti is unalloyed, concentrated, uncontaminated devotion to only one Lord, feeling that He is the highest. In Parabhakti, you avoid other gods. But how do you attach yourself to the single God? How much do you attach yourself? That is the Paramabhakti. What we call, we have another word in Sanskrit called Parame Kanti. Parame Kanti. Single-minded, deep concentration. That's called the Bhakti. That is called the Paramabhakti. Now, with regard to Prapatti, initially when we do Prapatti, because the elders asked me, because my parents asked me, I go to a preceptor and have a Prapatti. That is for first external advice. The Parabhakti will be after hearing the preceptor's advice, preceptor's words on God, we go on starting more and more loving more and more God. Then without anybody's encouragement, without anybody's inducement, we ourselves, we also become some teachers of devotion. We also invite others to be devoted like us towards the Lord, always thinking about Him, again always reading the books about Him, always doing actions about Him. And as we always say, Sattvika Tyaga is always remembered. Sattvika Tyaga is remembered everywhere. Today and yesterday also, I was feeling the same. Why should we conduct sessions like this? Gitartha Sangraha at 9 o'clock, Sudarshan Shataka recitation at 7:40, 6:30 I am hearing the Srimad Ragasetra Sara. Then 5 o'clock I translate into Sanskrit Periyavachan Pillai's Srimad Ramayana Shloka. 4 o'clock I recite, 4 p.m. I recite Taittiriya Upanishad and Panchasuktam. Then 2 o'clock I teach what we call Sandai, the recitation of the Deshika Stotras. Only one individual is attending, only one person, IT man is attending. Then morning 9 to 10 I teach Sanskrit to children from Seattle. And then morning 7:38 FCC app. We are teaching Nyasa Vinchat. Now I was telling my son-in-law, or rather any friend, I have not worked so severely in my service days. College teaching. We are now working for 5 hours, and for just 2 hours or 3 hours a day, we were getting 1 lakh rupees per month. So we were concentrating only on the money there. Of course, there was no other way in which. So we didn't engage ourselves in these spiritual pursuits frequently. Now I can always while away the time by looking at the TV. Last week, I was given to understand that some dramas are made free in YouTube in the name of Kala Kendra channel, Crazy Mohan's drama in Chennai, and also Show's drama, Show Ramaswamy, Tuklak editor, Tuklak author, the magazine called Tuklak. All these are all political satires, and for humor we see the drama. But this is for local enjoyment. And when we get into the groove of some spiritual thoughts, we are not bored. Maybe, as Keshav Swami said, our discussion somewhere is not relevant to some people who are hearing. They don't want to hear such. This is what we call developing bhakti slowly up. That is Parama Bhakti. We are now leading to Parama Bhakti. Only at the advanced age.
Thank you very much, Swami.
And again, there are people attending, 234 people attending evening 6:30 to 7:30 session of Sri Madhavacharya. And some youngsters are note down the point. The meaning I understand that their aim is to teach others. If not, the main aim is not earning, but they want to teach others. But very old people are there. Okay, our life is almost over. So, as he said, at the end of my life, I must get moksha. And today, when he said moksha is not to be your aim, everybody will be off. Because if I am not getting moksha by reading Srimad Ragasetrasa or Traitara, what is the use? If I cannot solve the problems of this life when I suffer, then what is the use of reading Srimad Ragasetrasa? Of course, they are all now sitting tight to the sessions because of the corona. Otherwise, they will mind the other business.
So everybody.
You are young, and we retired people have no other what we call pastime except to indulge in such activity. And unless we have inclination, we will not. I will say to Keshav Das, I will not discuss this subject. So the inclination comes only through him, and because we go one step towards him, he is ready to offer the blessing.
So
again,
now,
no mamata.
So now there's some good things coming from the lockdown, because we are all forced to
Remain at home.
Remain at home, and we're all searching for some way of doing something.
Spending the time.
And if we do it in a good way, then it's an advantage, actually. So we're all very devoted to you also, Swami. So we very much appreciate the time that you take to teach very basic things to us, because we're only just beginning.
I would also love to hear you teaching in the next session, because some of us, some of them are waiting every time, every day, coming at the end of this session and waiting for you to
See,
guide.
now I also came to know that you are teaching so many other classes during the day, including Sanskrit and other things. So maybe you can give us a list of the things, of the other classes that you're doing. Maybe we can also attend some of those.
Yeah.
But
one thing I want to tell you, I will look at that Vishnu Sahasranamam mail and then I will come back to you.
yeah, also in that Vishnu Sahasranama by Lifko, there are footnotes, and the footnotes give the variants for Shankara and Madhva, and sometimes it just says variant. And I want to know the difference between the words. I mean, I understand some things, yogi hrid, yogi beer. I understand the difference, but some different readings I'm not. Dharma kup, Dharma gub. That I don't understand the difference, and so I want to understand the differences and which one you think is a better variant.
There are three readings, as you know, Shankara's, Ramanujacharya's, and Madhva. And Lifko tells you all the exact details. And I will get you the Parasara Bhatta's explanation for the variant reading.
No, I have Parasara Bhatta's explanation, but I also want to look, and I want to compare to the critical edition of Mahabharata, which has been brought out by BORI, Bhandarkar Oriental Research Institute, has brought out the critical edition of Mahabharata. I want to check the critical edition and see which of the acharyas, Ramanuja, Shankara, or Madhva, are closest to the critical edition. But I'm interested in the different readings. But of course, for us, the Ramanuja's reading or Parasara Bhatta's reading is the one that we take. But still, it's interesting to see the other readings also.
But the other two readings, namely Shankaracharya's and Madhvacharya's, will be in their philosophical background.
Yes.
That is Advaitam and Dvaitam.
Yes.
They will be interpreting in their own way.
And even the ISKCON people, in the Gaudiya Sampradaya, they also have a commentary by one of their acharyas in the 18th century called Baladeva Vidyabhushana, and he has also made a commentary. I think we can say very safely that Vishnu Sahasranama is also included in Prasthana Traya, because each and every acharya has given a commentary on the Brahma Sutras, on the Upanishads, and also on the Vishnu Sahasranama and Gita, but also Vishnu Sahasranama as well. So that's very interesting. I wanted to also go into more deeply into the different types of moksha and understand from the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya point of view, what are the different types of moksha? Because it seems like we talked to Dr. Alwar last time that moksha in Amarakosha, Kaivalya is considered a synonym for other types of moksha. And we know in Narayana Upanishad, Narayana Sayujam Avapnoti, Sriman Narayana Sayujam Avapnoti. So this is why I tell people all the time that Sri Vaishnavas, we don't accept this idea that Sayuja is Kaivalya, is equal to Kaivalya, because we don't like Kaivalya. Kaivalya is a lesser form of moksha for us. But in the Upanishads, Kaivalya is praised. So I'm trying to understand this, how how the Upanishads can praise Kaivalya, and yet we think that Kaivalya is very less. And I was trying to also understand how there can be Kaivalya if God pervades the soul, if the Paramatman pervades the Jivatman, then it means the Paramatman is always with us. And Kaivalya means to be alone, to be separated. So I was trying to understand. My wife, I was saying about the two birds in the tree to my wife in the Upanishad. So I said that maybe the solitude of Kaivalya is like one bird turning away. He's turning his back on the other bird. The other bird is there, but he's just not seeing him. So in Kaivalya, the Atman doesn't see the Paramatman. He doesn't recognize that he's there, but still he's there.
Two sides of the coin.
Yeah, so I'm trying to understand Kaivalyam, because for me, if Kaivalyam, if the Lord is always there with us, if we don't see him, but if we turn, we can see him again. So from Kaivalyam, it may be possible to go further to Vaikuntha, or to Paramapada, or to enter into a real relationship of Kainkarya, of service to God, from the situation of Kaivalyam. But the Acharyas seem to say to us, from Kaivalyam we cannot go to moksha, to proper moksha. So I'm trying to understand why it's not possible to go from Kaivalyam to Paramapada, to actual service. It seems to me possible, but logically it should be possible. But
We'll try to understand.
I also thought about an analogy that sometimes we're in the jail. If a person gets put in the prison, this world is like a prison. Durga, it's like a prison. So we are inside the prison, and we're with other prisoners. And sometimes when the prisoner is in the prison with other prisoners, he gets a lot of trouble from the guards and the prisoners in the jail. From the guards and from the other prisoners, he gets some trouble. So sometimes a person in such a situation thinks, let me create some trouble and I will be put in solitary confinement in the prison. And that way he feels happy when he goes in solitary confinement, because the guards and the other prisoners, he doesn't have to deal with them anymore. He's in solitary confinement. But we think of solitary confinement as even the worst hell, more than prison. But he is feeling it is better. So that is why some people, they feel Kaivalya is better, isolation is better than being in this world. But actually it is the worst hell, Kaivalya. But when you go to freedom from solitary confinement, you have to again pass through the prison. You have to first be let out from the solitary confinement, and then be in the prison again, and then you can go to freedom. You cannot immediately go from solitary confinement to freedom. So this was my understanding, that in Deshika Sampradaya, that from Kaivalya you have to come back to this world first. This prison, you have to come back out of solitary confinement, and then you can go to freedom. But you cannot go directly to freedom. But my idea is, why is it not possible to go from Kaivalya to Paramapada and to Kainkarya? So I'm trying to understand all these concepts, because Tenacharya Sampradaya, they say that solitary confinement, that Kaivalya, that is forever. Otherwise, it cannot be a type of moksha. Because moksha, according to Brahma Sutras, moksha says no return, no return. So if it is moksha, then there is no return. So if it is solitary confinement, that's it. Solitary confinement forever. This is Tenacharya Sampradaya's idea. But Deshika Sampradaya has a better idea, in my opinion, about moksha, about Kaivalya. At least my opinion right now, that Deshika Sampradaya has a better idea, because they say you can achieve Kainkarya and Paramapada and Vaikuntha even if you're in Kaivalya, but you have to first come back to this world and then go. So all these things I'm a little bit confused about, and why, what are the arguments about it? Of course, it is all a little bit academic because we will only find out once we go there. But still, I'd like to know the reasons why the different sampradayas have their ideas on Kaivalya, and what exactly is Kaivalya, and what are the different forms of moksha, and why we would attain those different forms, if it's only the will of the Lord, or if there is some other reason. So I'm very interested in the aspects in Shastra about moksha, different types of moksha. I want to understand the goal. I want to understand the goal.
Okay. So I'll just note down these 2 points. Number one, I am happy that you understand the word solitary confinement. Kaivalyam is a solitary confinement.
Isolation.
My feeling is the individual soul is always thinking of its own self, and therefore it goes up to Kaivalya. And when he thinks of the Supreme Soul, then he go to Vaikuntha, as you said. Deshi Sampradaya says something, and Gitartha says something. So, the Gitartha Sangraha says it is an end in itself, and there is no further progress. Okay, we'll take up this topic, the Kaivalyam, and as you said, types of moksha.
कवितार्किकसिंहाय कल्याणगुणशालिने श्रीमते वेङ्कटेशाय वेदान्तगुरवे नमः।